Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Fiume, here live at the IFA2024 National Convention, and looking forward to interviewing some folks at this year's event. I am here with Will Morgan from SiteZeus. How are you?
Doing well.
Thanks for joining me. So tell me, what is SiteZeus and what do you guys do?
Yeah, SiteZeus, we primarily specialize in location intelligence, really helping brands grow is really our bread and butter. But at the end of the day, we've kind of broken out to really be that all-encompassing solution for emerging and enterprise brands, where we have got like the franchise CRM to actually help get the franchise leads in a timely manner, the location intelligence portion of really being able to identify like where should we be going in the next states, how many can we really fit in that market, and also the prioritization of like which ones should they be opening first as their flagship in those new markets. And then once they've identified a location, actually helping with the development of the structure, getting it from start to finish, whether it be from executing that LOI all the way through that opening day. And then some pretty creepy but very valuable marketing functionality where we can consume the loyalty data or use mobile data to better segment, understand what people are talking about online, on social media, really get a full understanding of who your customers are and try to get more of them by targeting lookalike audiences in those specific markets or nationally. You can do the same thing to competitors as you're entering that new market, geofence their locations, understand where their customers are coming from, and track them back to their homes, look at their social media and internet activity to really understand who they are and how can you get more of them. And then the last piece is then kind of taking a little bit more to the operation side and doing some royalty collections, compliance, and tracking a bit more of that regard as well. So really that full life cycle of any growing brand.
Wow. Tell me, on the emerging franchise space, Will, what would you say is like one of the biggest challenges that you see your early clients deal with when they come to you?
I'd say one of the biggest one is really trying to understand who that customer is and what makes that brand tick, and having the data behind it is almost more crucial for the emerging space than it is for that enterprise, because it's like if you have 6 locations and you open up that one bad one, that can bring you right back to zero. So making sure that you're really understanding what's making the brand tick and customizing your growth for your specific group and who you're wanting to target, and then using that for the acceleration of identifying those new markets. So it's really learning and then applying those findings for those new markets. So yeah, understanding who that customer is and where can you get more of them.
That's awesome. What do you hope to get out of the IFA this year?
Some leads. Hoping to have some good conversations with some enterprise and obviously the emerging space as well.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.